Hi everybody. I think you probably know who these three gentlemen are. When Jackie said that she was running out of speakers and what should we do, I said, I wish I could get Duncan to speak, but he won't. So I said, well, why don't I interview him then? Because I said, I spend so much time eating and drinking with Duncan and talking, and there's so much, even today, after all these years, I can spend a lunch with him and I will always find out something about him that I didn't know. And the same with Simon. Simon said to me, I don't know why you want me involved with this, I'm the most boring man in the world. I had lunch with him for 3 hours and, well, he again has got some stories. He says, I haven't really done anything, I don't do anything, and then out come all these stories of what he does with his life and so on. Peter does so much, we could probably do a one-man show just with Peter, just discussing his ex-wives.
Said you weren't going to say that.
Yeah, I lied. Duncan, your Moonpig involvement, I mean, that was an amazing success story, because I mean, I read somewhere that it took 7 years to get it into profit and £10 million, or £10 million in 7 years to get it into profit.
The facts are correct, yes. It was, and my involvement with Moonpig came a long time after I had left the printing industry, but I got involved first of all with Ling Design, because having been a printer for so long, I realised that the money was really in the publishing side of the industry, not in the production side. So I bought into Ling Design, and then of course got involved with Steve when he wanted to launch his range of Tatty Teddy plush and gifts. And then I got approached by somebody on a golf course, actually. I don't play golf, but William McCracken was approached by Lorne Dogood, who had just been made chairman of Moonpig. Would I like to invest in it? So I did, and I think that's the best thing I ever did. We helped develop the company by bringing in whole ranges of cards rather than just humour, which is what Nick Jenkins had started off with and was determined to continue with. And it was hard work, it was a struggle, the technology didn't work, people who were ordering kept getting cut off because they were online through a telephone rather than broadband. Nobody wanted to give their credit card details. It was a great idea, but it was a bit too early, really.
Did you ever lose faith in it? Did you ever lose faith during that 7 years? Did you ever lose faith and think this isn't going to work, but I'm in it now, so I might as well keep going? I mean, well, how much money did you put into it?
I'm not telling you that. We had to keep refunding because the business just didn't really start to work until we did television advertising. And I must say, my colleague Julian, who is just over there in the audience, said, I think we should do this. And I said, television advertising is never going to work. But that was what made the business.
Why do you think we stay in the industry, Peter? I mean, because nobody ever seems to get out of it. Is it because it's a great industry, or because we can't get out of it?
I think it's two things. I think one, people come into the industry, they either leave within a year or they're in it for life. That seems to be they just don't seem to get away. We do get recycled a few times within the industry. Certainly a lot of that.
How do you survive 30 years 40 years, 35 years, whatever, in our industry? So yeah, go on then, Simon, you can take that off.
It's hard work, it's common sense, dedication, and enthusiasm, I suppose, in terms of the attribute, because you've got to, when you're even exhausted and what have you, you've got to keep pushing on with your business.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of the product, you've got to get the product right for your audience.
It's more important than ever now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the most important thing when you're looking at card is what's the sending situation on this one. And if you can't see in your mind what that sending situation is, you should be scrapping it. You shouldn't be publishing it.
Very true. Peter, what's your...
We've probably been undercapitalised as a business from the beginning, particularly the number of acquisitions we've done. But I think managing your cash flow is the key to the whole thing in this business. As publishers, small publishers, we've got to manage that cash flow. Don't worry about the profit. Don't worry about the turnover. The cash flow is that's going to rock your business if you get that wrong. And that, to me, is the vital thing. And as obviously product is, we are a product-driven industry. we have to support that with service. The companies that seem to grow are the ones that have great product. The companies that survive are the ones that have fantastic service, if that makes sense. Service is survival and not losing it, but the growth comes from product.
Surrounding myself with people who are dedicated and are prepared to put the hours in and do the work and have the correct ideas about, in each particular business, which is the way that we should go. And I think that applies to, again, to all the people in the room here. If you want to be successful, you've either got to do it yourself or surround yourself with people who will help you get there.
Can I add one other thing Duncan said the other day, was looking after your suppliers. If your supplier lets you down, you don't have a business, i.e. your printer. If you're, you can have the best customer in the world, but if you can't supply them, it's not much use. Keep your suppliers on site. They are absolutely critical to you.
I think the other thing we're talking about, sort of favourite sayings, but I mean, for me, one of the nicest ones is KISS, keep it simple, stupid, because business is complex enough anyway, and I think trying to simplify everything as far as you can is a lovely one. I know one of the other sayings I like on the sales side was, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, use them in those proportions, and just listening to your customers and listening to their needs.
Certainly, I'll certainly back that up. I mean, that really hits home with me. I mean, when my business went through its growth period, I started to feel that I needed to bring people in to run the business that only came in really in many ways and complicated what was a very simple business. And I think the thing is with the card market, it is a simple business. And I don't think people coming into it who have been involved in FMCG companies can actually get their head around how simple it actually is. They think there's got to be more to it than this, but it isn't. It's about having an eye for design, it's about designing the right product, and about selling it to the right places. It's all just the basic stuff really, isn't it?
I can mess it up better than most people can. But I've had 2 experiences with really top FMCG guys who came in to help run the business. One was a sales director, and one came as a sales director and subsequently became managing director. They both screwed the business. They didn't understand it, and they had wonderful backgrounds. I mean, best CV you've ever seen. But the last one, he actually said to me, I've never failed before, and I know I've failed. I can't understand this industry. He only did one really great thing. He brought Chris Hoof into the business, which I was delighted.
But, I mean, I think the most important thing is getting the right people on as well as the product. You've got to have the right people, and the skill on that is trying to choose somebody who's better at doing their job than you are, because if you can choose that, then it makes the business run so much more smoothly.
I think we've had a great time. We've had a fabulous, I've been 40 years in the business and I've had such a lot of fun. I think it's getting harder and harder. I think, but there will be people sitting in this room who will be phenomenal successes, but I don't know where it's coming from. There'll be 1 or 2 of you here who will be the new Andrew Brownsalls or the new Steve Haines or the new Simon Elvin. Don't copy me, but and you will be hugely successful, but you'll probably come at it from a totally different angle to what we're doing now.
Okay, we've run out of time. So thank you very much to all 3 of you. Thanks for that.